Hello everyone, welcome another episode of China Girl. I'm Sapphire. Today we're going to talk about something fascinating that is unspoken rules in China. Let's say you are on a first date meeting Chinese girl. Some girls might bring you some gifts. Don't open a gift immediately. When receiving a gift, it's polite to set it aside and open it later rather than in front of the giver. Personally, I do have a fun story to share with you guys. In China, there's unspoken rules that if you're visiting your friend's house, whether it's close friend or your parents-in-law, maybe just for a meetup, for a meal, like for somebody you haven't seen for a long time, or just acquaintance, you bring a gift. But nothing prepared me for what happened with my friend. Let's call him Xiao Li. One weekend, Xiao Li, who's more like a casual acquaintance more than a close friend. So a weekend we decided to have a meetup, maybe have a meal together. Xiao Li is very friendly and nice guy. Sure enough, Xiao Li showed up with a bottle of whiskey, so my partner and I were thrilled because I'm a whiskey girl. I love whiskey. So when I saw the bottle brand, it looks pretty fancy. So whiskey isn't cheap, and Sally handed over with a smile, made it feel like a thoughtful gesture. So we thank him for this fancy drink. But something's off when I carry the whiskey home when there's actual lights. I saw that the bag looked pretty dirty to me, and outside the layer there's a package and looks like an iron package, and the package is all rusted, and then inside the whiskey I thought it may be just like a bad packaging or something, so I just set it beside and put it some corner. But something happened. Let me tell you, things escalated fast. My partner was so excited to make me a whiskey drink, but first, the cap. Like when we decide to open it, there's a cap, right, in a whiskey, like a wine cap. But somehow, when he tried to twist it off, the cap just broke it in halfway, so it's stuck in a whiskey bottleneck there. And the second, the whiskey is half full. So we thought about it, maybe it's the design, this drink it's really fancy or something. About a third of it was gone, and to top it off, the label on the bottle was smudged. So like it had been sitting in a damp corner of someone's kitchen for the last decade or something. And also the packaging and the label looks very dirty. I stare at the bottle and then turn to my partner. Did he just give us a used whiskey? We both burst out laughing. Sure, regifting is normal, but who regifts something that they would have already drank, right? So it wasn't even subtle, but this bottle was clearly open and half empty and looked like it had been through a war or something. So my partner joked maybe he had a sip before coming here, and just to make it sure it was still good. The more we thought about it, the funnier it got. We imagined Sally might rummaging the kitchen and going through the kitchen before leaving the house and saying, "Oh no, I forgot to buy a gift. What do I have?" Lying around, he spot the whiskey bottle. Thanks. That's the stuff that I don't want. Maybe I can re-give it to somebody else. Looks fancy enough. And grab it without realizing it has been opened. We didn't say anything to Sally. Of course, it wasn't worth embarrassing him over. But from that on, the half-empty whiskey just reminded me, if I want to re-give something to somebody, that I have to double check whether this gift had been used. Otherwise, it would create such a awkward moment. True Chinese fashion, I know that he would probably bring a gift, especially when we are helping him for something. So I didn't expect anything fancy. but a little something to show that he cares. It's not about the size of the gift and how valuable and how expensive the gift it is. It's more about showing respect that you care. But here's the twist. A lot of people don't actually buy new gifts. Instead, they scan their house and see what are the stuff that I'm not necessarily want, or it could be some present that some friends gave it to me, but I don't really need them. Now, I have seen this regifting cultures in action many times. Maybe sometimes I would receive some of the presents I would really enjoy that I would actually use them. Spitting in public, it's normal. Often you might see that in a park there are older men, especially men. They tend to spit more and clearing their throat, and you will see that they might spit not hesitantly. They are not shy to it. They can just spit right in front of you. They clearing their throat like constantly, and then spitting. Yes, you will see it more often. Loud conversations aren't arguments. Once I overheard some of the streets, if I walk into those like a village in a city, some of less poor area, you might see that people playing like a chess. But they will bet money in it. Often you might hear that or overheard people are talking very loudly. It seems like they are arguing. In fact, they were just having fun. They were just both excited to exchange idea, talking about the chess stuff. Personal questions aren't off limits. Probably at a party or in a bar, you just meet that person, or a new acquaintance will suddenly ask you how much money you make here. Here it doesn't seem that offensive. It's just more like a small talk. But often that when I reach out to talk to somebody, right, but you can tell that they are not accustomed to have a small talk. But normally it will make then the topic is a little bit strange, because carrying along, then suddenly they only think of the question they want to ask you. It's usually the case for people to ask you personal questions about your age, your salary, like a marital status, or even your weight and how many kids you have. And here's the thing, they believe that foreigners will have many girlfriends and wives and lots of children as well. So if you do have a jokes by telling them, yes, I have 7 wives, 10 kids, sometimes it might take them a while to realize this is a joke. Here's a fun one. When you're toasting in China, it's polite to lower your cups to the other person's cup, especially if they are older or they have higher status. This shows respect. Hugging isn't a common greeting in China. Instead, a simple handshake, not very common here, or simple smile, it's enough. But often if you smile to a stranger, normally you might receive this kind of look. So this is very common here, and hugging might just think is too much, too intimate, that will make that person very awkward. So especially if you don't know them well. If one day you travel in China, suddenly you saw me somewhere, you walk towards me and give me the warmest hug ever, I would think, wait a minute, is this guy into me? In terms of fashion, showing legs is more acceptable than showing cleavage. You will see people wearing short skirts and shorts, but revealing the upper body is less common. So what I'm wearing right now will be considered very slutty outside, and I will receive millions of men looking at me, but normally it's not a friendly smile. They will just stare at me, and also very serious face. I don't know whether they're appreciating my fashion style. Bring tissue just in case there's no toilet paper. It's common to carry tissues whenever you're out because the public bathrooms here often don't provide toilet papers, so you don't want to get caught unprepared. If you are going out during the peak time or the peak season that the place is gonna attract a lot of tourists, public restrooms here it's gonna be bizarre. You will see a lot of queue and they don't have a lot of tissues provided, so get ready to carry the tissues. Oh yeah, tattoos are not allowed in many public sector jobs. If you have tattoo, keep them hidden. In China, tattoos are considered unprofessional in many public sector jobs like teaching or government positions. Boys in high school and lower grades cannot have long hair. In schools, students must follow strict appearance looks. Boys are not allowed to grow long hair, and both boys and girls are prohibited from dyeing their hair unnatural colors or even make them pull. And sometimes the school even have very strict rules that the girls cannot have band that cover their eyebrows, and then for the boys the hair shouldn't cover their ears, so it should be really short to reach only here. Seatbelts are required even in the back seats. In China, it's mandatory to wear seatbelts even in the back seats. It's super strict, especially in a big city. But if you're traveling in a small town, then I guess you can just feel free. It's your choice whether you want to wear it or not. People love to invite you for a tea. If you're drinking tea with someone, they love to keep refilling your cups without asking. So it's a sign of being friendly. Honking horns is normal. At the same time, it's super annoying. Don't be surprised by all the honking in China. Honking isn't necessarily rude, it's often a way to alert others your presence on the road. Saying foreigner, foreigner when they see you. 老外,老外 or 外国人,外国人. First, don't take it personally, especially kids. They probably will point at you and say, foreigner, foreigner, 外国人. It's usually that they're just being a little bit silly and they want to get attention from you probably. That's it for today. Which of these unspoken rules that surprised you the most? Can you think of any cultural unspoken rules in your country that you might find interesting?